Volodymyr Zelensky is praising Ukrainians' bravery as he reflects on 50 days of war with Russia. And he's again calling on Canada and other NATO countries to ensure Ukraine keeps fighting.
Багато хто радив полишити країну, радили фактично здатися тиранії. Але і вони не знали нас, і вони не знали, наскільки українці сміливі, наскільки ми цінуємо свободу, нашу можливість жити так, як цього хочемо саме ми.
In his address last night, Zelensky also looked to rally the country with the news that Ukrainian forces appear to have sunk Russia's flagship in the Black Sea. Russia's defense ministry now confirms the guided missile cruiser Moskva is lost, but it still will not say the ship was hit by Ukrainian missiles. The sinking is being called a big blow to the Kremlin's military pride. In apparent retaliation, Russia is vowing to increase the airstrikes that have smashed parts of Kyiv and devastated other Ukrainian cities. CBC's Katie Simpson joins us now from Lviv, Ukraine. Katie, good to see you this morning. It's always jarring to see the signs of normalcy behind you when we're speaking of attacks elsewhere. We're hearing there have been alerts there and across Ukraine for new Russian bombardments. Ukrainians have now endured more than 50 days of war, and you've had a chance to speak with people this morning. What are you hearing?
And Jennifer, air raid sirens just were ringing a short time ago, indicating that the alert was over. The alert lasted for about an hour, but these air raid sirens are becoming so common. The initial panic that some people had when they first started sounding in this part of the country, it isn't as prominent. But at certain buildings, in certain places, locations, they have very specific protocol to follow, and people do shelter in bunkers. But let me show you around here. We are at a market. We are in Lviv. We are in the western city of Lviv. And this is, it's Friday at the market. It's the middle of the afternoon here, and people are out, people are shopping, and the war is front and center at all times, which is probably the most obvious thing I can say. When we talk to people, you see people going about their day-to-day business, but when you start asking questions, you ask a first question, and there's an immediate break. People take a deep breath. People are quick to tears here because this really has infiltrated every single aspect of life. We spoke with two different women a short time ago, and they say both say this is extremely stressful. It's been a difficult period because they worry about family, whether they're here or whether they're in different parts of the country that have been heavily targeted. There's deep concern. They're also not surprised, though, that Ukraine has done better than the world expected. 51 days ago, no one would have predicted that Ukraine would have been able to fend off these Russian attacks in the way that it has happened. It's sinking of that massive ship holding on to the capital, Kyiv. The answer we got from the women we spoke with, they say, listen, we're defending our country. We have a reason to fight, and that is going to continue now, and that they predict that Ukraine will be victorious. It's just how long is it going to take to get there?
And Katie, as we mentioned off the top, Ukraine is now marking what amounts to that major coup with the sinking of the Russian warship, easing some of the threat for Ukraine's southern coast. However, the battle for the port city of Mariupol may be reaching a decisive phase. What's the latest you're hearing there?
Everyone is waiting for independently verified information from that region, because if Russia is able to take Mariupol, then it would be the first strategic victory for the Russian military in this fight. Remember, Russian forces abandoned their efforts in the north. They gave up on trying to take the capital of Kyiv after they found intense resistance from the soldiers on the ground as well as locals in those suburbs around the capital. And this battle to try and for Ukrainian soldiers to try and hold on to Mariupol. The latest information is that Ukrainian soldiers do still have control of one last industrial part of the city, but the intense fighting on the ground, the intense shelling, it's unclear if that's going to change.
Katie, thank you for the latest. CBC's Katie Simpson in Lviv, Western Ukraine.